Look at this. There's nothing. Look how many blueberries your muffin has and how many mine has. Yours is falling apart. I have nothing.
What are you talking about?
Shh.
Spoilers ahead. Boom! That startled you, didn't it? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinemattraction. I'm Heat Guy Jay, and with me, as always, it's Cold to the Bone.
John.
Today, we are going to be reviewing this is Scorsese Part 2, basically.
It certainly is.
Yes, we earlier on, we did Taxi Driver and New York, New York.
We did.
And
really
now
good.
we're
Really
going
good
to be
episode.
doing what I would consider two of his greatest films.
I'd say one of these is his best.
Oh yeah, one of these is definitely his best, which obviously is Goodfellas, and I also think Casino is one of his greatest films too. So
Yeah.
but before that, what have you been up to, John?
I've been really, really busy and I've been working really late nights, so I've
Yeah.
really had a huge amount of time to watch Royal Rumbles.
No, I've been watching Royal Rumbles though as well.
Which Royal Rumbles have you been watching?
What's the one I watched? I watched the one where The Rock won. I can't remember what year that was,
Okay.
but The Rock won it. It was the Madison Square Garden one.
Okay.
What year was that? Probably 2004, maybe?
I don't
I
know.
think it was maybe 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the highlight of that?
The highlight of that was The Rock coming in and clearing house. I think it was Big Show came in.
Okay.
And he caused a bit. But I was watching for those bits that you said. Like how many wrestlers are in the... Yeah, see, now I'm watching... And like, if a big
Analytical.
man comes in...
If a big
that
lad
lots
comes in,
of, lots of men go out.
to make... Because presumably there's a weight limit on this
Yes,
thing.
yeah. Exactly. So I did spot what you said, but the only thing really I gave a rewatch to The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
which was
Yeah, you love that one,
yeah,
right?
I do love that one. I got a nice little surprise at the end as well because we've just recently taken on a little puppy called Sydney.
He's gorgeous.
And I'm sitting on the couch and I smell something funny.
Oh.
During the film, and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what that is.
Something nasty?
Well, it smells like pee.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, oh, I
Did
don't
he have
know,
an
I don't know.
Alaxton, did he?
Basically, I sat in the pee through the movie.
Well, it was your pee, or...?
No, his pee. He peed on the sofa, and he must have done it earlier on. And
He's only a pup.
I know he is, bless him. But that was my little sort of surprise at
Little
the end.
adventure.
Yes,
Little
look, Ben
Easter egg.
Solo's back. I also saw the remake of The Haunted Mansion.
Okay, I'm interested
which-
to see that. As a huge fan of that particular ride,
Well,
I'm really interested.
You're going to like it because there is possession in it.
Yeah.
And there is all sorts of stuff like that, which is, I think, quite adult themed. The Hatbox Ghost is, I think, personally, for a young child, is absolutely terrifying.
Great.
Jared Leto is the Hatbox Ghost, but you'd never know because you never see him, and his voice is distorted. So,
So why have it?
well, you do see
You
him.
can't see him and hear him.
You
What's the
kind
point?
of see him in flashbacks, but
Okay.
but it's kind of yes. I don't know. Anyway, it's got my boy Lakeith in it.
Great.
I love that actor,
Yeah.
and it's got loads of really good actors in it.
Jamie
so.
Lee's in it, right? As
Yeah,
well, right?
yeah.
Love Jamie Lee.
Yeah, she's great in it, and also she's Madame.
Love a bit of nepotism.
She's. I think she's CG'd in the actual ball.
Okay.
Madame Leota, isn't it? I think she's because she looks different to you do see her in the film later on, and so. But
Goodfellas is an American biographical crime drama from Martin Scorsese, written by Nicholas. I'm not sure the pronunciation. I think it's Pileggi.
yeah, I think I read. It's either Pileggi with a soft G,
Right.
or
Pileggi.
Yeah, or Pileggi.
And co-written by Martin Scorsese, of course, adapted from Pileggi or Pileggi's book Wise Guy.
Yes.
It is 1955 and Brooklyn teen Henry Hill becomes involved with the local mafia boss Paulie Cicero. I love Paulie.
Paulie is fantastic.
Because I watched this at 6 o'clock this morning in
Right.
preparation for this,
Yeah.
and my favourite character in the whole thing is Paulie. Paulie don't have to move for no one.
He doesn't. No, I love it.
I love
He's
Paul
really
Sorvino.
and do you know what it's all about?
What?
It's all about the mannerisms and expressions and looks in the actors'
Movements.
eyes and movements
Yeah.
in Scorsese's films.
Yeah. So he becomes involved with local mafia boss Paulie Cicero and his associates. He sort of works at the cab stand, this little cab stand.
Yeah.
Henry does some odd jobs, such as parking cars and selling stolen goods, gradually working his way up and eventually allying with Jimmy the Gent Conway. He's 28, 29, apparently.
No, he isn't.
No, he ain't.
No, he is. He's what, 48?
He's like 60 odd at this point. Played by Robert De Niro and fellow juvenile naughty boy Tommy.
Yes. Joe Pesci, baby.
Well, yeah, so we will get into that in a
Yeah.
moment, but an amazing introduction.
Yeah.
We get to know Henry's family, we get to know the local mafia figures, we get to understand Henry's fascination with the criminal life.
Yeah. One thing I do like about Scorsese's films is he always sort of explains things to the viewer.
Yeah, they're really well set up.
Really in-depth and
Yeah.
detailed, and I like where they do the freeze frames in his films as well, that give you that moment of just that moment.
Yeah.
Just that little moment to sort of breathe.
When the car is exploding and Henry's running away.
Exactly.
There is an incredible freeze frame in Casino that we'll get into in a minute.
Yes, I think I know.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Perfect. You also get at this point you get the iconic line, as far as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Followed by Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett.
I will tell you, there is one phrase that I use a lot in my general life that I got from this film. F you, pay me. I say that about the vets. I say, we're going to the vets, but basically they want their money, and there's like, F you, pay me.
F you, pay
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
This film in Casino utilised a bunch of era needle drops. Which,
Brilliant.
Which range from being thoroughly incongruous to being completely on the nose, but they always hit the mark. They always deliver the right
And the
effect.
Stones are always in it.
There's about 100 Stone songs in.
Give Me Shelter is
Casino.
Give Me Shelter, I think, is in at least 3 of Scorsese's films. Maybe even The Wolf of Wall Street, it might be.
It might be. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that one.
Oh, I love that song.
Of Wolf of Wall Street, but we'll talk about that in a minute actually, because there's a parallel. Henry proves his value early on, carrying out various tasks, and he keeps his mouth shut when he needs to. So he earns his trust. He earns Jimmy's and the family's trust. We flash forward to an adult Henry in the 60s, who was doing day-to-day stealing and hustling with Tommy and Jimmy. It's during this point that we get the scene where Henry is like supplying stolen fur coats at the Bamboo Lounge.
Yes.
This like place where they congregate. And they meet the various criminals Henry is associated with. And he has
I love
nicknames for all of them.
I love it when they explain all the people.
Yeah.
I love the what is it? 2 times.
2 times. I'm going to get the people.
I'm going to get the papers. Yeah.
They're real life people.
Right.
They're real life scumbags.
Wow. Yeah, because Henry Hill was real, wasn't he?
Yeah. There's if you ever see like Mikey Francesi that they reference in there,
right?
He's got he's a massive celebrity now because he was a massive mafia boss, and he tells stories about the mafia and stuff like that.
Right.
If you
was he
ever
that one
have
that
a
was
mind-
in The Sopranos?
Mikey Francesi?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Oh.
You'll see a lot of if you love The Sopranos, you'll see a lot of people.
Yes.
In this film.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Especially one of my favourites.
Which one?
Poor Spider.
Sure, Spider. Yeah.
Oh, Spider.
Have you seen The Many Saints of Newark?
No, I have not yet.
Bit Marmite, but if you love the show, you'll love that.
I did love the show. I loved the show up to about, I think, season 4 or 5, maybe.
Right.
But then I sort of fell off. It would.
It's one of the greatest shows ever made. In my opinion.
Well,
it's one of my favourite shows.
Yeah.
What's your favourite shows?
Huh?
What are your favourite shows?
My favourite shows? Yeah. Well, my ultimate favourite show has to be The Simpsons.
I'd probably put that at the top.
Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
It's one of my favourites.
You're a big anime guy.
Yeah, I love Outlaw Star is one of my favourite anime shows.
Okay.
Ash versus Evil Dead. I would say.
Yeah, I love the Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I would say that and Mad Men are my 2 favourite, like TV type shows.
Okay.
That I can think. I mean, there are Star Wars ones, obviously. Like there's Obi-Wan I quite liked and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. For me, it's got to be The Simpsons. It has to be Twin Peaks.
Right.
I think Twin Peaks is one of the greatest pieces of art.
Yeah.
I'd probably put The Sopranos in there. I'd probably put The Wire in there as well. That was an amazing show.
I tend to lose. I lose.
I'm not the biggest fan of
interest
shows.
of series.
Yeah, I don't like sitcoms. I don't really like. I'm not the biggest show person.
No, the only one I really got obsessed about was, as I said, like Ash versus
And
Evil Dead
Mad Men.
and Mad Men. I became
sure.
obsessed about that one.
Great shows.
Yeah.
So it's within this meeting of all of the various gangster types that you start to get they start to talk about the Lufthansa heist.
Yeah.
We also get We get the funny guy scene as well.
Oh, I was going to mention that. The
Okay.
funny like a clown?
Yeah.
So I amuse you?
Where he, yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene, and I
Yeah.
love the story. I love listening to
I don't think it's a funny story.
I don't think it's a funny story,
No,
but I love listening
they're laughing because he's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a psychopath.
Yeah, you have to laugh. And
Yeah.
you get people in the background, like other patrons of the bar, laughing.
Yeah.
Because they're terrified
But
of him.
I'm going to be honest.
It's not a funny
I'm
story.
going to be honest. When the boss comes up to him and he hits him over the head with the ball, I just laugh at that, and I just think it's hilarious.
And then obviously Paulie comes in as a partner and just destroys the place. And a little bit of, so it is, again, during this point, this film motors along at like 800 miles an hour. So it's it's during this point that Tommy proposes a double date, and the duo bicker about it while waiting for the bamboo lounge to burn down.
Yes.
I love that scene.
I love all the bickering in it because the chemistry between Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci,
is perfect.
is fantastic. They really do bicker like they've known each other forever. You know, like us.
Anyway, though this double date with Tommy, through this double date with Tommy, Henry meets Karen. A beautiful Jewish woman who is initially offended by Henry's arrogance.
Yes.
He didn't want to be there.
No. Lorraine Bracco is fantastic.
So she confronts him at Paulie's diner, pizzeria, wherever it is.
Isn't it the cab stand? Isn't it a cab stand,
Could be. Yeah, sure. After he stands her up on one of the double dates.
Yes.
And the pair wind up falling head over heels because she shows exactly the type of woman she is. Mm-hmm. And he's like,
he loves it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm down. What do you think about that? What do you think about Karen?
I think Lorraine Bracco is amazing.
Yeah.
Her performance is fantastic. And what I really love is the fact that I don't think in a lot of gangster movies, really, you tend to get the female side or the family side of it.
Yeah.
Which you really see, especially in both of these films. You see the family side, at-home side sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I really like that you see he's a family man and that he's basically just a regular man. You know, Henry's... Not what he does.
I don't think so. Yeah, I understand.
He's a bad boy.
Sure.
I mean, he's a bad boy, obviously. Sure. You know, she finds this out after she marries him, that he's out all night with his friends and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's a free spirit, isn't he?
Yeah, but he still falls in head over heels for Karen.
Yeah.
It's quite an injustice because Lorraine Bracco lost out to Whoopi Goldberg for Ghost for the Oscar.
Really?
This should have been Lorraine Bracco's
definitely.
Oscar.
Definitely.
Again, another one who's in The Sopranos.
Yeah. I mean, that scene, I mean, we'll talk about that scene, won't we?
We'll get into
Later on with the bed?
We'll get into that in a moment. Yeah. Well, we're just going through it. So.
Yeah, I think she's brilliant in this, and I just love I love also the bit where she's sitting and she's looking at all the other wives.
We'll get into that in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. But this obviously leads to the iconic one-take scene in which Henry and Karen go for a date at the restaurant.
Yes.
They walk through the kitchen and into the main room where they are given a table. A table comes out of nowhere, and they are given a table right by the stage.
That shot.
Well, yeah, it's dizzying. It is chaotic, and it underlines Henry's status and his lifestyle up to that point.
Yeah,
you see what kind of power he wields. And you see how beloved, and it'd be so easy for Karen to get swept up in this. Yeah. Like, wow,
because he's a very well-respected man because people fear him.
He's involved in construction.
Yeah.
But Karen sees the sharp side to Henry's lifestyle. She is assaulted by one of her neighbours, and Henry comes to rescue her honour, I suppose. And he's shaking down Morty the Wig guy. By all means.
That scene,
it's hilarious.
The scene where Morty keeps asking for his money, and then Robert De Niro comes up behind him, and he starts strangling him with the telephone wire, and he's, get the money,
yeah,
get my money, where's my money, get the money, I love him because he's just so annoying.
Well, that's the thing. You're introduced to him. He's obviously the big guy in the water, and he's being shaken down to get his money back, but he's also making more bets while he's being shaken down to pay for his debts, for his other gambling debts. It's hilarious.
He's that gnat in the ear that's like that in Robert De Niro's ear all the time, isn't he?
It is indeed. So Henry leaves the shakedown to go and help Karen.
Yes.
And he pulverizes the neighbour
brutally
with
assaults
with the butt of a pistol.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You see the other side of Henry's
Yeah.
lifestyle.
And then she also knows what kind of man she's with as well.
She knows precisely
and
what
she
type
knows
of
what
fella.
she's getting into.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's being asked to hide or bury, whatever it is, a blood-soaked... She's handed a blood-soaked gun, which has just been used to pulverise the guy that assaulted or tried to assault her. Henry and Karen... This movie rattles along at 800 miles an hour. Henry and Karen marry, much to Karen's mother's disapproval.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both families, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because if you look, both families look really miserable.
But the wedding scene is incredible.
I do. Oh, yes, it is. It reminds me very much of the Wolf of Wall Street one.
Okay, I was going to say Godfather.
Oh, okay. No. Well, Godfather's one's 25 minutes long.
But I know, but you still get that pomp and grandeur.
Oh, yes, yeah. It also reminded me of the Wolf of Wall Street as well.
Of course. But what I'm saying is that they're still carrying out business. They're still talking business at the various tables.
Yes.
The Godfather was talking business during
yes.
the...
Of course he was.
Come
to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Karen is all wide-eyed.
Yes.
And she's just... Again, it's really dizzying. Scorsese knows, and indeed the power of Lorraine Bracco's performance in that. Scorsese knows when to really ratchet thing, to really put you into that, and to really make you...
I think the music helps as well, the sort of different needle drops he uses to add to that atmosphere of the scene.
I read somewhere that when... I don't know if it was this film or if it was for the other film that we're going to be talking about, Casino, but he was... working, obviously co-writing with Nicholas Pileggi in both of these, or Pileggi in both of these. And as they're writing it, Pileggi's writing and Scorsese is speaking. And he says, at this point, just put the word cream. And he's like, cream? Or whatever it is. Put the word whatever. And he's, in his head, he's putting the movie together. So it's like, put this cream track at this point.
Right, okay.
Oh, what a mind. Yeah.
Well, he can actually see his movies in his mind and see what is playing over them.
There's a good chance he's saying, like, give me shelter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's, whatever, put this here, put that.
That is,
just what a mind that man has. Karen makes the observation that a huge bag of envelopes containing an absolute fortune in cash is casually just sitting there. And Henry lumps it off as if anybody in that room full of thieves is going to steal it.
Well, yeah.
The wedding is a much low-key affair than the one at the beginning of The Godfather, perhaps.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Is it because there are so many, like, underbosses? You don't have the man at the absolute top there?
Probably, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know.
It is 1917. Everything is going hunky-dory, or as well as it can be, until they encounter Billy Batts, a made man in the Gambino crime family who has recently been released from prison at a bar that Henry owns. Sorry, I got blood on your floor.
I want to mention about that bit. If you look at Henry's face when Tommy says that, it's amazing because, like, Ray Liotta's face is like, and you think the blood.
Did you just ask me that question?
That's the least. That's like the least of our worries. The blood on the floor.
Yeah, this is merely the tip of the iceberg.
We've got a made man that you've just killed, and we've got to make disappear.
Indeed.
And as I said, with Scorsese's films, I just love the looks and expressions that people give that they don't have to say anything.
He doesn't hire bad actors, does he?
No, and the long shots of Robert De Niro's face sometimes you see.
Yeah, I think that you also have to give credit to his long-time collaborator. He has a lot of long-time collaborators. Thelma Schoonmaker, who knows how to keep a scene running, when to cut and where to place. And
I mean, I was going to say these films are masterclasses on filmmaking.
This is how you do it. Yeah,
this really is.
And it's got his signature. He's got his fingerprints. You see other filmmakers taking some of these techniques, but only he knows how. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think they do it as good as him.
They don't
ever
do it as good as him. No, you know a Scorsese movie when you see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people trying to make a De Palma film. Do you know what I mean? Only De Palma can make a De Palma film.
Yeah,
you can make a De Palma-esque film, but it still won't be the same.
Or
Hitchcock, or
but
whatever.
You could say that probably De Palma's work is really heavily influenced by Hitchcock.
Yes.
And you could also say that Hitchcock's film has his fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
Or
I think that Scorsese is definitely influenced by Hitchcock. You know, what with, like, he did the remake of Cape Fear, didn't he?
He did, indeed.
And he did Shutter Island, which is very Hitchcock-esque. Wouldn't you say?
Sure. Yeah, you can probably see some aspects of that. Yeah.
I think it does have more of a Hitchcock sort of feel than because it's not his regular sort of film, is it?
Not really. No. Yeah, that's a good point. So
Billy Bats. Oh.
Billy Bats patronises Tommy, which is a really, really bad move.
Go get your shine box.
Get your shine box. Which is Tommy waits for the bar / nightclub place to empty, and he returns to beat the hell out of Billy, ultimately fatally shooting him. This poses a big problem because Billy is a made man, and this act will incite retribution. That's part of the code.
Yeah.
So Henry, Tommy, and Jimmy load big dead Billy into the back of a car with the intention of burying him upstate. They visit Tommy's mother along the way to grab a knife.
I love Tommy's mum. Isn't that?
It's Catherine Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese's mum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
They have a bite to eat and then they carry on.
She's so dear, isn't she?
Only to discover that Billy isn't actually dead, which is soon amended. Okay, so what do you think of that sequence then?
I love that scene where she basically goes, "Come on in," and they've just done a murder.
She's adorable. Yeah.
I think his mother is absolutely adorable. Sure. I love seeing it, and I'm probably going to go on about her in Casino as well.
Yeah, she's in Casino.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the thing like, oh, so you're painting that, one dog goes one way.
I love that painting. What do you want from me?
And she gives them a meal, and it must be. What, probably about 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe?
It's middle of the night, isn't it?
It's middle of the night, isn't it?
She's just bang onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious. And you can understand the relationship between her and Tommy.
Yeah.
I think she's probably the only person that could successfully antagonise him. She moans at him about not being married.
Yeah.
About finding a wife.
This is what I like, the fact that, obviously, in these two films, but both films, Joe Pesci dies, right?
Sure.
What I like is
he's
the fact,
murdered in both.
But the fact is, in both films, you don't really want him to be murdered because in Casino he's got a little kid he adores, a little boy he adores.
He's got beautiful that he makes breakfast for.
Right.
Yeah.
And in this, he's singing. He's got that adorable mum and everything.
He's got a loving parent.
Yeah, he's got a loving parent and everything. Yeah. So you do feel kind of sad, and also I suppose you feel sort of sad for his friends as well.
But at the same time, he's earned his murders.
Oh yes. He's earned.
He's no angel like that.
No. But I like the fact he gives Scorsese's giving you a human element of, they're not just bad guys. Right. There is that bad guy has a child that they love.
That's a good observation. That's a very good point. I think with anybody else in the world, he wouldn't take that antagonisation.
Oh no,
that he gets from his mother.
Yeah, no, because he's a loose cannon, isn't he?
He'd snap.
Yeah, I mean
the smallest things he snaps.
Yeah.
As we're about to get into. So 6 months later, and Jimmy discovers that Billy's burial site is about to be developed. So the trio head back and exhume and relocate that corpse. You can smell what they're digging up.
What do you want, a leg or a wing? Oh God, that's.
Oh God, you can smell it though.
Yeah.
Oh God. So Tommy's madness continues, and he shoots Spider, who is an errand boy.
Yes, Christopher from The Sopranos.
Christopher Moltisanti, after Spider insults him during a card game. Meanwhile, again, Tommy's madness, he just flips.
Yeah, poor Spider.
But at the same time, Jimmy is sort of egging him on, isn't he?
He shouldn't have done that. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
You know what Tommy's going to do.
Yeah. I don't think he thought he was going to do what he did. No. But I do think, when he starts egging him on, going, you're going to let him say that to you, and then,
You should have done it. Yeah. You know what he's like. Meanwhile, again, this film runs at 200 miles an hour. Meanwhile, Karen discovers that Henry has a mistress and threatens him at point-blank gunpoint.
Rossi! Janice Rossi!
Wow.
Get your own man!
Get your own man! Henry diffuses the situation and runs off with the mistress because, of course, he's going to. So Paulie insists that Henry return to Karen when he and Jimmy come back from a job at Tampa.
Yeah.
They have a debt to collect from a gambler, though the pair are ultimately arrested upon their return because after being sort of turned in by the gambling guy's sister.
Yeah, who turns everybody in.
Happens to be an FBI or happens to be working with the FBI. They're sentenced to 10 years. And Henry convinces Karen to smuggle drugs into the prison to get some income going.
Yeah.
It is such a low point for everybody. It's like, this is where it really...
Yes,
nosedive.
This is where it really starts to get bad after this.
But I feel so bad for Karen here.
Yeah.
Who is...
She's excommunicated, isn't she?
Yeah, she's suitably at her wit's end. She's got kids, she's got no money, she doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. This is what I like, the other side of it all. You're not just... visiting the gangster side.
Yeah, between this and the highs and the lows and everything like that and the gunpoint. Lorraine Bracco, how did Whoopi...
I don't know. I don't know how a comedy performance...
It is a comedy performance as well, yeah.
Yeah. Her thing in Ghost is a comedy performance.
Sure.
So how that won over Lorraine Bracco, I don't know.
I don't get it. Like I watched this at 6 this morning. I'm like, how the hell did she not win for this? For the two extremes.
Yeah, exactly. I know. The garlic with the razor blade.
Oh, it's the little minute details, isn't it?
Beautiful.
It's the
isn't it?
Details,
Beautiful.
Though.
I want to do that. I literally want to, but I'm so frightened of like cutting my fingers. Actually slicing like the top of my finger.
The prison scene is incredible.
Yes.
And they're cooking meals in there.
Yeah, and the wine. Now we can eat.
It's just bonkers.
Brilliant.
The power that they wield even in prison is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but they have to, because you think retribution on the outside.
Indeed.
So, yeah, these people are so well connected. But the thing is, that once you get that connection by being made men, usually, that's what you earn, isn't it? You earn the protection. Do you see what I mean?
For sure.
So that's why you don't get suddenly just whacked.
Indeed. So Henry is granted parole and goes back into the drug business, or goes into the drug business with Jimmy and Tommy against Paulie's vehement wishes.
That's when it really sort of...
This is where it all goes spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
It's during this time that Jimmy puts together the crew to heist the Lufthansa vault at John F. Kennedy Airport. The heist goes off and they steal $6 million. The joy that Henry expresses... In the shower.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Jimmy! Bang, 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 bang on the tiles.
Wow. Again, that's the thing. Like, Ray Liotta was an incredible actor.
He was. Do you know, I just want to
passed.
say that I felt really sad when I heard that he passed away.
Indeed.
I think it was something to do with hardening of his heart.
I couldn't say. I don't know.
It was something... he passed away in his sleep, fortunately.
Oh, great. I mean, if that's how you're going to go, that's probably the best way to go.
He's never really been one of my favourite actors, but I did really love him in Who Be Halloween.
I haven't seen that, I'm sorry.
Which is got Adam Sandler and it's a Netflix film.
I'm not the biggest fan of Adam Sandler. We're going to have to do an Adam Sandler episode one day.
But I was very sad to hear that because I think
you associate Ray Liotta with this film.
And I always remember him in the Carlsberg advert.
He did a Carlsberg
He did
advert?
like I'm sure it was a Carlsberg advert where this guy leaves a pub and he leaves like a spill in his drink, right?
Okay.
He goes home and then like you hear this knock on the door and you hear sort of this sinister music like, and he opens the door and like Ray Liotta is doing that, you know that panther smile?
Yes.
Because he's got a bit of a kind of panther smile, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
He does that, and he's got the glass, and he's like, I think you forgot something.
Okay.
And you know that, like, it's supposed to sort of hinge on the fact that he's a scary type character.
Yeah.
So, like, you're going to drink the rest of your bit. This is Carlsberg or Heineken or something, you know. You're going to drink it.
Yeah.
It's a good beer, don't waste it.
I'm led to believe that he was an absolute sweetheart in real life as well. So
I can imagine that.
Yeah, it was just
I can imagine that. Yeah,
you just associate him with being this intense criminal.
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently he was an absolute darling.
Yeah.
Again, much like Ryan Bracco, why did he not win for this?
I don't know. His performance was brilliant in this. So.
Indeed. Heist goes off. They get $6 million dues, though Jimmy's paranoia intensifies as members of the crew begin making stupid purchases.
Yeah, really huge purchases of things.
Directly against Jimmy's orders.
Yes.
Added to that, their getaway vehicle is found by the police, so Jimmy has most of the members slaughtered.
This was Stack's fault.
Stack's, yeah, including Samuel Jackson Stack's.
Samuel L. Jackson here was, what an idiot.
He was a silly boy.
He
did something really stupid.
Yes.
Yes. But, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You get involved in this life.
I'm
you know
sorry,
exactly the responsibilities, whatever.
Stack's got what he deserved.
The murder of Billy Batts comes back to haunt Tommy as he is deceived into thinking he's about to become a made man. And he's lured into an empty room and slaughtered. The look of despair on Joe Pesci's face when he walks in and he sees the absolute lack of a ceremony is absolutely priceless.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what's about to go down.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I didn't see it coming.
No, I never saw it happening.
No, I thought I'd get away with it.
When I first saw this film, because I remember first seeing this film at the cinema. No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it at the cinema. I saw it advertised at the cinema on a poster.
Okay.
And I remember thinking it looked really good.
I saw this advertised, and I was really excited to potentially see this at Florida Airport in 1990.
Really?
Yeah. This and like Home Alone were about to come out. I was like, I want to see both of those.
Yeah.
I was well too young.
I never saw it coming, and as I said, I actually felt really sort of quite sad that that's what happened to him. I mean, I know he was a psychopath.
You reap what you sow.
But yeah, I think that
But at the same time, I didn't see it happening, and it's such a force of nature and a bag of charisma that you think, where's this movie going to go now?
And obviously, Henry and Jimmy's life just fall apart after, really fall apart after that, because they've lost their. I don't mean to be, nasty here, but basically, Tommy was their meal ticket.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like he's being made, so we're being made as well.
Yeah. Could Henry have been made because he's Irish, partly Irish, right?
No.
But his mum is still Sicilian, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but they have to. He says, doesn't it? They have to be able to trace both parents. I think.
Oh, is it both? Okay.
Yeah, because in Scorsese's world, there are only Jewish people, Irish,
right,
and Italian. I think
Italians.
Because from what I've watched, even in Casino, I had no idea Sharon Stone was Irish. But Irish American, but
Ginger McKenna.
Yeah.
It is now 1980, and Henry is all the way addicted to cocaine and becomes a sweaty, paranoid basket.
Yeah, moist, very moist.
He's arrested again and briefly put away when orchestrating a deal with his Pittsburgh associates.
Yeah, that music that they use in that scene, that really goes well with it, doesn't it?
Again, you find these incongruous choices, but they just nail the mood.
I mean, I don't really particularly like that song, but I don't mind hearing it when it's accompanied. It's almost like an ingredient. Sometimes, say you don't like mustard, you'll put it in, in a soup or something, and it'll just really make it delicious. Yeah, and I feel this way about that you may not like the song, but the song is appropriate for what you're looking at.
Hits the mark, man.
Yeah.
Karen bails him out and tells him that she's flushed 60 grand's worth of cocaine down the toilet to prevent the FBI from.
Yeah, that's a great scene, isn't it? Where they sort of comfort each other.
It's a bold move because it basically leaves them broke.
Yeah, but she was frightened to get pinched.
Oh, yeah, I know, but it's a bold move because you're stuck now.
Oh yeah. But the panic when she's cutting the packages open, that really is panic.
Terrified.
It's great,
but it leaves them penniless.
Yeah.
And Paulie cuts his ties with Henry, which leaves Henry without protection. Henry approaches Jimmy, who suggests they go on like a hit assignment.
Yeah, back down to Tampa, I think.
Right, but Henry senses that Jimmy is actually setting him up.
Yeah, because Jimmy's never. Henry has. I don't think in Goodfellas you see Henry actually do anything. I don't think he hits anybody.
I don't know.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Tommy and Jimmy do all the
lot of stabbing and shooting. Yeah.
I don't believe Henry actually kills anybody in the film. I don't think.
So to protect himself, Henry becomes a snitch.
Yeah.
And Henry and his family go into the witness protection program, and his testimony sees poorly. Yeah. And Jimmy go to prison.
Yeah.
We close with Henry unhappily living in witness relocation. What do you think of Goodfellas?
Well, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
it's absolutely a masterpiece.
For any other filmmaker, this would have been their masterpiece, but this is a masterpiece. Another masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
It's a bit like Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott has got several masterpieces.
Yeah, for sure.
And not just one. And this would be the one that Martin Scorsese is remembered for. Yeah. But each person will probably remember Scorsese for different ones. There'll be some people that will remember him for Taxi Driver.
Yeah,
Raging Bull. Yeah, Raging Bull.
Mean Streets. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of Scorsese, I definitely always think of Goodfellas. I think it's always Goodfellas first when I think of Scorsese.
Well, that's the thing. I think The Godfather is the better film. It's the better story. It's way better on a technical and performance level. But I enjoyed this film way more.
So do I. So would I. And I could rewatch this film more than I could The Godfather.
You can just switch it on, couldn't you?
Yeah. Easy. It's easy to watch. Like you said, it goes 800 miles an hour.
It does.
And the pacing is fantastic. And there's always something like, even if nothing's going on in the film, there's always a conflict or there's dialogue.
For sure.
Because you're always getting like a narrative to the film also, which I like. And I like the fact you get the different narratives. So you hear like Lorraine Bracco's thing saying, you know, when I met Henry, blah blah blah, and then you hear Henry go, when I first met her, I couldn't stand, you know, and all. I love all that stuff.
The overlapping.
Yeah, I love all that because it paints such a wonderful picture of all these characters.
Yeah.
And when you have, that's what I love when you've got these characters and they're so filled out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is that's how Scorsese does it,
just
but
impeccably well written and really well realised and really well.
and you almost feel like you know them in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're absolute scumbags, but he makes them oddly relatable.
I found this about Casino, definitely. I felt like I knew Sharon Stone's character.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know what I mean?
Okay, well, speaking of which, Casino is a 1995 epic crime drama directed by Martin Scorsese. It's based on the book Casino, Love and Honor in Las Vegas by Nicholas Pileggi, who obviously co-wrote the screenplay. It is 1973, and Mafia associate Sam Ace Rothstein, played by Robert De Niro, this was his 8th collaboration.
Was it really? Good Lord.
Is issued by the Chicago Mafia to Las Vegas to run the Tangiers Casino. Sam comes in and improves the casino's profit, which is then fed into the Mafia's pockets. Chicago boss Remo Gaggi.
Oh, yeah. I don't like him. No, I don't.
Sends Sam's friend and all-round psychotic enforcer Nicky Santoro, played by Joe Pesci, to protect him and to help with the wider running of the operation. Opening thoughts?
Well, the opening...
The pace.
The opening... well, it opens with a bang, literally, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
You know, you've got Rothstein getting in his car and boom.
Boom!
Yeah, boom. And then
Indeed.
we go straight into sort of the explanations, don't we? How,
kind of
you know, how he got there and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We soon...
So excited.
Yeah. I mean, within the first... Are we talking about maybe the first 20 minutes? Joe Pesci stabs somebody nearly to death with a pen?
Sure.
I mean, that's rough, isn't it?
The thing is, though, like the frenetic pace really gets the party started.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. We have that pace also in Goodfellas, but the pace never really slows down in this one.
No, well, the thing is, this film is nearly 3 hours long. It's about
sure.
2 hours 50, I think.
Sure.
And you never feel that.
I love the pace, but is it a good thing?
That it's that quick?
Because again, for me personally,
it's a lot to take in, isn't it?
I find it kind of hard to keep track of the various plates being spun, so to speak.
I do.
Again, offset with this sensory overload, because there's these incredible images, these manic performances, these needle drop, all this stuff going on. Is it a good thing that it's this quick and mad?
Well, I mean, I do like films that have really good pacing, so I do hate
really
films
quick pacing or really good pacing?
Good pacing, not quick pacing. No,
right.
Everything hasn't got to move along at 100 miles an hour all the time, because sometimes,
That's really hard.
like I said, with the freeze frames, you get moments where you just breathe and just take in that.
Yeah.
That moment, take it in, and it doesn't just slide by like obviously moments do.
Indeed. It's at this point anyway that Nicky's horrendous activities begin to catch up with him, and he's eventually banned from every casino in Nevada, which is kind of funny. Meanwhile, Sam falls in love with a beautiful showgirl named Ginger McKenna, played by Sharon Stone. Yeah. That freeze frame. Is that the one you mean? Because that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking. Well, there's actually two.
There's the one.
There's that one.
Okay.
Where you talk about where she throws the chips up and everything.
Sure.
Yeah, that one. I mean, that gorgeous smile she does as she walks out the casino.
When Sam encounters Ginger.
Yeah.
And you've got, I think, like it's a Jeff Beck song, isn't it, with Rod Stewart? Is that right?
Something.
I can't remember, but you get this rock song. This it's like a romantic rush to the head.
That one. That's the bit of music that's playing when she walks out the thing. It's like. It's kind of music that Tarantino puts in some of his films.
I think Tarantino's very inspired by
the
work of Scorsese.
But but
that romantic rush, that freeze frame of Sharon Stone from Sam's perspective.
And in a lot of this film, she looks gorgeous.
Perfect.
Don't she?
We'll maybe talk about her in a moment because there's a lot to say about her.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, she is the MVP of this movie.
Well, maybe. It's around this time that Nicky squeezes Tony Dogg's head into a vice and splats his eyeballs for shooting up one of Remo's bars. So what do you think of that, then?
I love that scene.
It's the eye going off.
And I love that. Do this guy a favour.
Yeah.
What was it? Who was it? Somebody M? Somebody M was the person that... And he's like... And then Joe Pesci storms out of the room and he goes, M!
It's not the most violent scene in the movie.
It's not.
A guy with his head in the vice being... with
brutally
his
beaten.
eyeball
He
exploding.
was brutally beaten as well.
Like... And before that, he shoots up that bar, including that waitress.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even the most violent bit.
I know, it's
We'll
not.
get into that in a moment.
That's right at the end, isn't it? The most violent
Holy
bit.
cow.
Yeah.
Again, together, Sam and Ginger marry and have a beautiful daughter named Amy. It's all huggy-duggy, but it is around this time that Ginger's troubled past comes to light, and Ginger's former flame, a sort of a pimp/slimy scumbag named Lester, enters the frame. But Ginger is asking for 25 grand, and Sam follows the trail and catches Ginger giving Lester the cash in a small restaurant. Sam has Nicky's crew beat the hell out of Lester in the restaurant car park, while Ginger watches on, screeching. This really pushes Ginger's problems with drugs and alcohol. So James Woods...
Oh, that snivelling, crawling weasel, Lester Diamond. Oh, do you know what?
He's terrific.
He's he's fantastic. And do you know what I really love? You know where they kidnap Amy?
Yeah. We'll get into that in a
Okay,
moment. Yeah,
alright.
sure. But yeah, by all means, what are your general thoughts about the James Woods' performance?
He's so
in this?
sleazy, isn't he?
Scum.
Absolutely horrible.
But I love that performance.
And I love how he whispers sweet nothings to her, like, I've known you since we were,
That little mustache. Oh my god. So James Woods was a massive, I think I just alluded to it, but he was a massive star around this period and has since become somewhat toxic due to his particular social political beliefs.
He made a film with Michael J. Fox called The Hard Way.
He did, yeah. He's
Yes.
very good in that as well.
John Badham film, I think.
Sure, he made Salvador with Oliver Stone at this
He
period.
did.
as well.
I
He's a massive
didn't like that.
Oh,
film.
really? I thought it was quite good.
I didn't like it.
But he was a massive star.
Yes, he
And
was, yeah.
Maybe not so much nowadays because
I'm not sure if I've seen him in a lot of films, but
I think he's making anyway. You know exactly what type of person he is from that
Yes.
costume, that horrific mustache, and
Yeah.
I absolutely love him in this.
yeah, he's wearing like a leisure suit, isn't he? I think in what they call a leisure suit.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about him in a moment because I love I love Amy in him.
Do you know who I love in this film?
Who's that?
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles, the great Don Rickles.
He looks so mean and grumpy and says hardly anything
One
in the
of
movie.
the most celebrated comedians.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
The roast master.
But if you think about it, Scorsese does that, flips it, because think about Jerry Lewis.
Yeah,
King
yeah,
of Comedy.
in King of Comedy.
He is the straight man all the way through it.
We should do Jerry Lewis one
Yeah,
because
he
he's
was
the
straight man all the way through it.
Incredible in that
Yeah.
film. But it's interesting because obviously Jim Norton played Don Rickles in The Irishman, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Kinda weird, isn't it?
That is weird, yeah.
So Sharon Stone is absolutely superb during this whole sequence.
Did she win an Oscar for this?
I don't know.
Because if she didn't, that is a crime. Her
It's-
performance is amazing.
I would go so far as to say this is a career best performance
Yes.
from Sharon Stone.
Yes.
She goes toe to toe with De Niro.
Yeah.
At that table.
Yeah.
And she screams like nothing else.
The
when
fights
she's
they have
outside.
in this, and the fights are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant.
They keep fighting at like
Yeah.
tables, at
Yeah.
like at restaurant tables, don't they?
Well, it's because he won't leave things alone, will he?
He
not the
does. Sam is a bit of a scumbag.
He's a completely
Yeah.
different character to Jimmy from Goodfellas.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a much, much different character.
Jimmy's so charismatic.
Yeah.
He's a bit
And
stony in this one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, cold.
Cold, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not very...
Sam Rothstein is a very cold character, and
Yeah.
even his marriage is a business deal. It's not love.
Yeah, he trusts her with the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a business arrangement.
it is, yeah.
He doesn't trust her because he loves her.
doesn't trust her.
He trusts her.
And he's right to not trust her in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, in the beginning, he trusts her because he's made a deal with her. Like anybody you make a deal with, you have to trust.
Indeed.
But obviously, he doesn't love her.
No.
I mean, he says he loves her, but then towards the end, he's sort of keeping her just to torment her, isn't he?
Indeed. There's a
So-
romantic rush, but when that fades...
and
it's-
he eggs her on because he scratches away at the scab until she blows.
Indeed.
So
So Sam begins to have his position questioned when he finds the cowboy lad in charge of the slot machines.
yes,
Got a bolo tie for his incompetence. The cowboy lad was the commission chairman's brother-in-law, and he arranges for Sam's gambling license to be denied.
yeah, I like that guy. I would have liked to seen him in The Big Lebowski.
He would have been perfect.
He would, wouldn't he? If they couldn't have got Sam Elliott, they could have got him, couldn't they?
Oh,
I could have seen him saying, the dude's taking it easy for all us sinners.
It's at this point that Sam decides to start hosting a TV show from within the casino, which draws the ire of Nicky and the mob hierarchy, for want of a better terms, because there's all different.
Well, Nicky kind of comes into Vegas sort of like a bodyguard for Sam Rothstein. But then sort of goes out on his own and forms his own wants to take it over, doesn't he? He sort of wants to become king of Vegas.
Yeah.
Or kingpin of Vegas.
He helps the operation as well as helping Sam.
Yeah, he
Sam
wants
can't
to
do all
become
that
kingpin, though, I think, of Vegas.
Yeah. So he draws the ire of Nicky and the mob hierarchy for drawing unwanted attention to the operation.
Yeah.
The friendship between Nicky and Sam sort of frays and begins to deteriorate and Sam really wants Nicky to leave Las Vegas, and his psychotic behaviours are causing too much trouble. The mob hierarchy learn that individuals within the casino are skimming from their skim.
Yes. Yes, because these old gangsters are getting skimming. They're stealing.
Yeah.
And then people are stealing from their
skim.
Yeah. And then you have the guy who's
Artie
being...
Piscano.
Is he the one who's being bugged?
He's useless, yeah.
When he's talking in the thing?
He's
with his mum?
Yeah, which is Catherine Scorsese again. He's brought in to oversee things, but he keeps stupidly keeps a written record of the operation, which is really stupid because you've got literal evidence.
Do you know why I love Catherine Scorsese? I'll tell you why. She reminds me of my grandma.
Oh, okay. I met your grandma before she was late.
And my grandma, she used to do, if I would swear...
Oh, really?
That, like that grimace on her face, that sort of like a what's the word? Like a twinge.
Okay.
That sort of twinge, like,
cringe.
Oh, don't cringe, yeah. Oh, don't swear. Don't. That's exactly what my grandma used to do.
Disrespect your family. He's being bugged by the feds, and which brings the feds into the picture.
Yes.
There's a great scene where Nicky is playing golf and Sam is taking a meeting, and a small plane carrying sort of makes an emergency landing on the fairway. It's the feds. They're watching him so much that they ran their surveillance plane out of gas, and they have to. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. That's great.
There's also a great scene where Nicky and Frank drive to a multi-story car. I don't like Frank. To a multi-story car park to switch cars to get the tail off them.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's really clever.
The one where you see Joe Pesci keep changing cars. And
to try and avoid being detected. It's such a quick scene, but it's a really clever tactic. Their heinous actions have made them a target.
Yes.
But they've sort of normalised it, right?
Kind of. I mean, at the very beginning of the film... Robert De Niro basically announces in the narration, we just went and effed it all up. And then you just watch them F it all up. Just ruin everything.
Yeah, but they've normalised it, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's just become part of their day-to-day. Is to deal with
the craziness is part of their normality,
the craziness, but also the paranoia. They know they're being watched.
Yeah.
But it's just like part of the business. It is now 1980, the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. And Ginger kidnaps little Amy, planning to flee to Europe with her and Lester. It's one of my favourite parts of the whole movie, where Ginger runs off with Amy and Lester. I love Amy.
And Amy is so antagonistic to Lester, isn't she?
She just lives to torment and wind up Lester.
And you even see when I
want to see the Elephant Man.
You even see when Ginger's on the phone.
Yeah.
And you see in the background. They're like... And then she's trying to hit him with a little handbag or purse or whatever. Yeah.
Really darkly funny, this movie.
It is. There is some scenes that are really actually quite funny.
Indeed.
Some horrific scenes as well.
Oh, God, it really juggles. Sam calls Ginger and gets her to return with Amy, and then he overhears her planning to kill him.
Yeah.
And he can have that. So he kicks her out of the house, but quickly forgives her.
That's really quite a violent, intense scene.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And kudos to both of those actors for their performances.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ginger's back, and she and Sam go to dinner. They have a lot of fights over dinner.
The thing is, Sharon Stone's performance in this, I have seen crazed women, how they behave, right?
Sure.
They do behave exactly like this. Do you know what I mean?
Crazy people do.
Crazy people really do act. Yeah, they
like
really do this screaming.
Tyrannical.
Yeah. And how she pulls that performance, how she pulled that performance out, I don't know.
Again, this is Sharon Stone's best performance. She'll be remembered for Basic Instinct, but this is her best performance.
Yeah, definitely.
But Sam's just torturing her.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, where's the 25 grand? It's like 3 suits and a watch or something.
Yeah,
right?
he's just picking and picking and picking.
Yeah, but
until
she's going this way.
Yeah.
Like, because of him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just antagonising her and manipulating her.
He's kind of...
It's no surprise that she's going to fall off the handle when he's just prodding her like this.
Yeah.
You can't leave it alone.
No.
I hate that.
I don't like the fact that he keeps doing that, to be honest.
It's horrible.
No.
Of course she's going to hate him.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So Ginger confides in Nikki about the whole thing, and the two start an affair, and it's... they
start that affair quite nice, though, don't they?
Oh, it's really gross, because I don't want to see Joe Pesci romantic in any way. That's just... Nah, bruv, I'm out. I check out there. Sam ultimately finds out about the affair and he confronts Ginger and ends his friendship with Nikki. But Ginger asks Nikki to kill Sam, and Nikki's like, no, and he ends the affair. Ginger threatens to talk to the FBI and leaves Sam with the money and jewellery. But Ginger and Sam have an almighty ding-dong outside of their house with the police. Police are just watching on.
Yeah. This is... it's...
You can only watch on.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, she's crazy, I'm not letting her in the house. The FBI approach her for information, but she winds up saying nothing. But as Sam says, the FBI already have everything they need.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a roller coaster.
It is, yeah.
And perhaps the most shouty portion of the film.
There is definitely a lot of shouting and screaming and...
Stone is excellent again.
Yeah, excellent. Can I just say about the scene with, what was her name? Anna Scott.
Okay.
Have you ever seen somebody whacked in such a almost kind? Have you seen the way that he goes up to her? He shoots her in the head and then he kind of caresses her.
Kinda.
He sort of cradles her head.
That's a bit gross.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
He has feelings for the person that he's just...
Well, I don't know if he had feelings for her, but
he must have, because...
I don't know whether it was because he had to whack a woman, but it was almost like he was being gentle. Like, if you had to go and whack a guy, it would just be like... That's it.
Part of the job.
But, yeah, I know. But maybe he felt like, because she was a woman, that, like, oh, I've got to be a bit more, sort of, try and be a bit gentle.
Possible. Yeah, for sure. Possible.
You know?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you think about the way that Nicky has killed people in the rest of this film, he was pretty kind what he did to Anna Scott. You see what I mean?
Well, he didn't put her head in a vice, did he?
No. He was very kind. He came up to her very quickly and shot her, you know, and then cradled her head so she didn't sort of fall to the ground and all that sort of thing. So it was like, I don't know, in the cruelty there was a slight element of kindness, which sounds really bizarre. And I never want to see anybody whacked like that again.
No. So it's now 1982, and the FBI grabs Artie's stupid written records, and they have the Tangiers closed.
They're his mum's records, by the way.
Sure,
Yeah.
but I mean...
That's what he told the police. I'm only saying that because he told the police that, didn't he?
Indeed.
They're my mother's records.
They approach Sam. They're not going to shoot little old Catherine Scorsese.
Oh, please don't.
But he chooses not to help them. The Chicago hierarchy are arrested, and those who may testify them are punctured by the house
systematically,
of the House of the Rising Sun are slaughtered.
Systematically killed, yeah.
We have Ginger dying at around this time of a hot dose, is it?
Yeah, that's
bad
what it says.
dose.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that was a mob hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Sam survives a car bomb attempt because of an underplate within the car.
Yeah.
Sam believes it's Nikki because he says that, I think the mob had a different ideas for me or different plans for me or something like that. So he thinks it's Nikki. Useless Artie has a heart attack and Nikki calls him a balloon head.
He says that about 2 other people as well that come in from another crew. He calls them balloon heads. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, that's so good. Balloon heads.
Balloon head.
Hey, balloon head.
So, I love this film. I have an issue with the pacing, and I also have a problem with Ginger dying of a hot dose because it feels kind of anticlimactic to me. I wanted more from her.
Yeah, but I think she died the way she was going to die.
Yeah, for sure.
She wasn't going to get whacked, was she?
Well, she might have. You know, she knew enough.
Yeah, but the mob knew that to have her OD.
Well, I think she did get whacked at the end. I think the hot dose was just them killing her.
Yeah, but it would kill her in a way that the police would just go, oh yeah, well she's just another dead junkie.
She was just another drug addict. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just felt anticlimactic to me.
It is very anticlimactic, but I think it does fit her end.
For sure.
Whereas, Nikki's...
well, we'll get into that in a minute. It's now 1986. Nicky and the mob associates meet up in a remote cornfield to have a hush-hush meeting where he and his brother Dominic are absolutely smushed to pieces with baseball bats. This is
horrific.
Such a disturbing scene, and I hate Frank. He's beaten him to death with like 2 bats at one point, isn't he?
He is. Frank is Billy Bats, isn't it?
It is Billy Bats.
It is. It's revenge of Billy Bats, isn't it?
Indeed.
Because if you
With
think
bats.
about it, it is. But if you think about it, right, do you think Scorsese did it like that?
It's possible. He's probably having a little laugh. Yeah.
Because what was I going to say? No. But what was I going to say? Billy Bats. He was the made man in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And now Nicky is the made man in this one, and he's the one put in the ground, isn't he?
It all comes.
Yeah.
There's a cyclical nature.
I think there's another one in Raging Bull where Joe Pesci beats the crap out of the actor.
Sure.
I don't.
Frank Vincent?
Is it Frank Vincent?
I think so. I really great actor. He's so good. I hate him in this.
Yeah,
Do you
he's
know what I mean?
horrible. He's
really,
horrible.
really
Yeah.
good performance.
And I think he's so cruel to actually the fact that he kills his brother in front of him as a torment him before his end.
Yeah, he makes him watch.
Yeah. I mean, instead of killing them both at the same time,
Yeah.
you're going to watch your brother die, and then that's what we're going to do with you.
I don't like that.
It's rotten.
It's frenzied.
And you do think to yourself, he's a really bad guy, but did he really deserve that?
Yes, he's a scumbag.
But did he deserve what he got?
Just a quick blast in the back of the head.
Yeah.
They really made an issue out of this.
Yeah, they made a point of really.
They stripped them both and buried them basically alive. You can still see them.
They're still breathing.
When
yeah,
they're putting,
when I saw that, I think I must have been maybe, I don't know, I must have been probably a teenager at the time, but it was a really shocking scene for me to watch.
Really resonated.
Yeah,
horrible.
And for a long time, that was the only bit of Casino I could actually remember because it was so horrifying.
I think this, I said earlier, like, the head in the vice isn't the most violent point.
No.
This is the worst part.
Yeah, this is definitely the worst part. And also, you don't feel anything for that guy with the head in the vice because he went in and just shot. He just shot 3 innocent people in a bar.
Innocent waitress, didn't he? Yeah, for sure. And he had it coming to him. You do know you have it coming to you. To be executed that way is one thing, but you're going to die regardless.
I don't think Nicky deserved to have his brother killed in front of him, and then, as I said, they just whacked, you know?
I think the difference is with what was his name? Tony Dogs, whatever his name is, who gets his head in the vice.
Yeah.
They're trying to extort information out of him, and they wind up killing him.
Yeah.
I get it, because it's part of the process, but this is just savage.
Yeah.
But did you notice that Nicky is narrating the meet-up in the cornfield?
I do. Yes. I know what you're saying.
The voiceover just cuts out when he starts.
He goes,
Yeah, in the voiceover.
I laugh when that happens.
So clever.
Because when he gets hit, he's like,
Yeah, and that's it. And you don't hear any.
No.
That's it. That's just his voice from then on. And at that point, it just cuts out. And he's beaten to death. Yeah, mad. So, the mafia are basically out. The casinos are demolished and replaced with new corporate horrible casinos, which are made from junk bonds, which Wolf of Wall Street. Sam basically returns to being a sports. I believe it's called a sports handicapper, where he does picks and things like that.
He can predict.
Why mess up a good thing?
Yeah.
And it goes full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it, yeah.
He's spared because he's kind of useful.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the only reason he's spared. It's actually really sad.
It's full circle though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are your general thoughts about Casino?
I think this film is a masterpiece. I love it.
I think it's great. I have some problems, as I say, with the pacing and Sharon Stone.
I've liked it. I liked it more since I've grown up.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Did you not like it on the first watch?
Not really.
Okay.
The first time I saw Goodfellas, I liked it, but I didn't really understand it.
Right.
Because, like, when you're teenagers or you're kids, you like it because it's violent and it's adult and it's cool.
They're saying cool stuff.
Yeah. But then as you get older, you're like, oh, no, actually, I can
really
read between all these bits that are going on and, really appreciate it more. And I think I definitely appreciate this film more. And it looks, I watched it this morning in 4K. It's stunning. It is absolutely stunning in 4K.
It is, Martin Scorsese films are just generally brilliant to watch.
Yeah, but this one looks gorgeous.
It's frequently referred to as Goodfellas in the Desert, which I understand, but I kind of disagree with. It's a cyclical rise and fall journey of greed and paranoia.
Yeah.
And I would say it's probably consequently closer to Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I'd say.
'Cause he-
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan
yeah.
Belfort goes full circle.
Yeah, I would say it probably is.
Similar thing to that.
Yeah.
That said, again, I've had my issues with it. If Goodfellas didn't exist, I think this film would be lauded more.
Yeah, I think so. I think this would probably be
course-
Scorsese's masterpiece if Goodfellas.
I don't know.
wasn't.
I mean, there's Taxi Driver and Raging Bull and all that kind of stuff as
Right.
well. But I think this film would be lauded more, held higher,
Yeah.
in the same way that Goodfellas is held.
Yeah.
If Goodfellas didn't exist, but at the same time, this movie wouldn't have existed without Goodfellas.
Probably not. No, probably not.
The violence is a lot more intense and graphic.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it a bit too much? Does it go a little bit overboard? 'Cause he didn't do that in Goodfellas.
I think for anybody that's not used to watching this kind of film, it's probably a hard watch. I would think
Yeah.
for somebody that's not used to this kind of film.
I love me some violence and some horror, but this is a bit heavy for me.
Yeah. I mean, my mum's in her 70s. She would watch this, but she's very desensitized, as I said.
Is it because of the quality of the writing, the quality of the direction, the quality of the
Yes.
performance that you really
Yes.
are so invested
Yeah.
that these things have so much impact?
Yeah.
Maybe the needle drops are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a song every other minute. I think he really I don't know how many needle drops. It feels like a million more needle drops in comparison to Goodfellas.
Yeah, I like the one where I like the Stones use of the Stones one.
I think there are about 6 Rolling Stones songs.
Is there one like that?
used
Can
to.
you hear me knocking? I like that one. Yeah.
There are 2 Devo songs. When a problem comes along.
Oh, there is. There was one bit when they're in the casino.
But there's also one that's a Stones cover, which is I Can't Get Me No Satisfaction.
Oh, is that done by Diva as well?
Yeah, they got 2 Devo songs. One of them's a blooming Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, I knew it was. I knew it wasn't the Rolling Stones.
Robert Richardson's photography is absolutely amazing. There's loads of atmospheric kind of nighttime shots and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the lighting is
So much shine. Everything's
Yeah.
so shiny. For
There are
want of a better
scenes
word.
where Robert De Niro has like light on his shoulder and it's like blinding.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But presumably to echo not only the location of the Nevada desert sun, but also perhaps the relentless kind of cash and wealth and all that kind of stuff, the shininess and all that kind of stuff. What verdict?
Well, as I said, I think this is a fantastic movie. To me, it's a masterpiece.
I think it's brilliant.
And Sharon Stone, for me, is
Should have won.
the reason to watch this film. Her performance.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, it definitely is her performance, and she's vile. She's vile, and
She's a very messed up lady.
yeah, she can be quite vile because she is a gold digger.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Yeah, when someone helps her, doesn't they?
Yeah.
And she tries to, like, the police help her and she offers to pay them or something.
Yeah.
That's where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That kind of- yeah.
No one helps her.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
that, and her
She's had to
mind
be
is,
independent, but she is a gold digger, and
but that's her life.
Yeah.
That's what she knows. So
Yeah.
when someone actually is helpful to her, she's like, well, I have to give you some money now. Even if it's...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's her
Yeah.
mindset.
yeah.
For me, it's Joe Pesci, this movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
I do think Joe Pesci is fantastic in this, though.
Yeah. What did he do after this? He kind of retired after this, no? No, or has been his semi-retirement since, right? I mean, he did The Irishman.
So. I mean, he's been in The Irishman, but I mean...
When was Vinny?
my cousin Vinny was about 92, I think, was it?
So he
92?
had Goodfellas, he had Home Alone, he had Vinny, he had this.
Something
right?
like that,
And then,
yeah.
obviously, recently he's had The Irishman.
Yeah.
What else did he didn't really do
He
much,
did a
did he?
film in the 90s called The Superintendent, or The Super,
Okay.
I think, which is...
Was
like
it
they
Super?
had to, no, but they had to change the title in this country because we wouldn't understand what the super was, you see? 'Cause in the-
Superintendent. It's like a caretaker, isn't it?
Yeah, of a building, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but we wouldn't... There were certain things back in the day that we had to change certain titles because, like there was a Christmas film called The Ref with Dennis Leary in,
Okay.
Kevin Spacey in, and they had changed it to Hostile Hostages or something because they said that people wouldn't understand. They think if it was called The Ref that everybody in England would associate with football and, you know what I mean?
Didn't they do the same with Avengers Assemble?
The title of a movie has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I
You can't presume what the movie is about just because of the title.
Right. I personally think that you should give the audience more credit.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, so do I, yeah. Yeah, don't go, we've got to call it this because you're too stupid.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, join us again for episode number 40. Can you believe we're at number 40?
Oh, we at number 40 already?
Where we'll be discussing Whiplash and La La Land.
Oh,
Damien Chazelle
yes.
double bill. You're going to hate La La Land. I can't wait to see what you think. I've never done anything like this, so we're going to do it.
No. And Whiplash is a musical of sorts.
It's amazing.
It is.
I think both films are fantastic.
I love Whiplash. I've not seen La La Land.
I think, well, you're going to hate it, so I can't wait to hear what you like. In the meantime, you can follow us on Letterboxd, Downright Bastard.
I am Kerja_Relon.
How be that spelled?
KRJA_RELON.
And find us on social media.
You can. Cinemattraction_podcast. We'll be, telling you what we'll be reviewing. So have a look on there. And I always post. Put up the posters so you can see.
You do.
Yeah.
Be excellent to each other.
Yes, and if you like what we're doing, please comment, like, and subscribe because we really need that. We need your love.
Jason wants all of your love.
I need your love. Tell me you're enjoying what we're doing.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
My God, you look like a gangster.